The mummy is in a very bad condition because of what Carter did in the 1920s, said Zahi Hawass, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, as he leaned over the body for a long first look. As Zahi Hawass, Secretary General of Egypt, he leaned over the body to have a look. He said that the mummy was in a very bad condition because of what Carter did. Howard Carter, that is, was the British archaeologist who in 1922 discovered Tut's tomb after years of futile searching. After years of futile searching, futile is in vain, they had to search for a very long time, and in 1922 finally he discovered the tomb of Tut. Its contents, though hastily ransacked in antiquity, were surprisingly complete. The contents of the tomb had been ransacked. They had been gone through. Someone had gone through them. Someone had tried to rob it, but did not rob much because it was almost complete. The things were all there. So someone must have gone through it, disturbed it, but the things were not stolen. They remain the richest royal collection ever found and have become part of the pharaoh's legend. Now, Tut's grave is the richest till date, and it has come to be known as Pharaoh's legend. Now, legend is a story, a popular story which is not based on facts. It has artifacts in gold which are eternally beautiful and as good as new. There are many artifacts, work of art pieces, which are in gold and which are very beautiful. They look as new. Such as good as new, such artifacts still get attention. Such beautiful gold things still draw attention. Tut was buried with things of daily use. They remain the richest collection ever found and have become part of Pharaoh's legend. Stunning artifacts in gold, their eternal brilliance meant to guarantee resurrection. Now, these gold things were buried with the mummies because Egyptians believed that a person will come back to life after death. They believed in life after death. They believed that the pharaoh, the king, will again get his life after his death also. So, such beautiful gold things were buried along with the pharaoh. But Tut was also buried with everyday things he'd want in the afterlife: board games, a bronze razor, linen undergarments, cases of food and wine. He was buried with his daily use things also, like razor made of bronze, games, linen undergarments, boxes of food and wine. All this was also buried with this dead body, with this mummy. They mummified the bodies because they believed in life after death. After months of careful recording the pharaoh's funerary treasures, Carter began investigating his three nested coffins. Now, after making a list of all the things which were buried along with his mummy, he recorded all the funerary things related to the burial, the things which were related to his burial. He began to investigate, he began to find out more about the three nested coffins. King Tut was buried in a coffin which was made of gold, and that coffin was in another coffin, and that also was in another. There were three coffins. Opening the first, he found a shroud adorned with garlands of willow and olive leaves, wild celery, lotus petals, and cornflowers. Now, when he opened the first coffin, he found there was a cover. Shroud is a cover. adorned with garlands, which had garlands in it of willow and olive leaves. Now, willow and olive leaves are the leaves and flowers that grow during that time, during April, month of April, and olive leaves. Even olive leaves were there. So, wild celery, lotus petals, all these were there, and cornflowers also. The faded evidence of a burial in March or April, because these things, celery, olive leaves, willow, all these are found in March and April. So he could conclude that probably he was buried during March or April. When he finally reached the mummy, though he ran into trouble, the ritual raisins had hardened, cementing Tut to the bottom of his solid gold coffin. Now, when he came to the third coffin in which the mummy was laid, in that King Tut's mummy got stuck with the solid gold coffin. He was not able to bring out the mummy out of the coffin. No amount of legitimate force could move them. No amount of legitimate force, that is, the force that he could use on it without destroying the mummy. With that much force, he could not bring out the mummy. Carter wrote later what was to be done. He later on wrote what was to be done, because now he was not able to bring out the mummy from the coffin. The raisins, the used glue-like substance used during the burial, that had stuck the mummy to the coffin. It had hardened. The sun can beat down like a hammer this far south in Egypt, and Carter tried to use it to loosen the raisins. Now, the sun is very sharp, it is very hot in Egypt, and he tried to use that heat to soften, to loosen the raisins. For several hours, he set the mummy outside in blazing sunshine that heated it to 149 degrees Fahrenheit. So, he kept the mummy outside in the sun to heat it. He thought that probably the heat will loosen the raisins. Nothing budged, nothing moved, so he could not take out the mummy after that also. He reported with scientific detachment that the consolidated material had to be chiseled away from beneath the limbs and trunk before it was possible to raise the king's remains. So, with scientific detachment is very impersonally, he concluded, he said that the solidified material, that is the solidified raisins, they had to be chiseled away. They had to be cut away from beneath the limbs and the main body, trunk of the king, in order to raise the king bring out the king's mummy from the coffin. In his defense, Carter really had little choice. If he hadn't cut the mummy free, thieves most certainly would have circumvented the guards and ripped it apart to remove the gold. In Tut's time, the royals were fabulously wealthy, and they thought or hoped they could take their riches with them. For his journey to the great beyond, King Tut was lavished with glittering goods, precious collars, inlaid necklaces and bracelets, rings, amulets, a ceremonial apron, sandals, sheaths for his fingers and toes, and now iconic inner coffin mask, all of pure gold. Now, according to Carter, he had no choice other than to cut the mummy. He believed that if he hadn't done that, thieves would have removed the gold from the tomb and would have looted it. they would have dodged the guards and they would have stolen the gold. During Tut's time, the royal people were very wealthy and they had belief that after that death they could take wealth along with them. For his life after death, he was given precious collars some of gold to be worn around the neck, necklaces with decorative patterns, bracelets, rings, amulets. Amulets are jewels which are worn on the arms, ceremonial aprons, something that is worn on the chest in front, sandals, heaths for fingers. On fingers also, he had gold and toes, and now an iconic inner coffin and a mask. His coffin was fully made of gold, solid gold, and he also had the coffin had a mask of his face that also made in gold. His men removed his head and every joint of his body. To separate Tut from his adornments, Carter's men removed the mummy's head and severed nearly every major joint. Now, Carter's men, they cut the head of the king Tut and his all the major limbs in order to take out the gold from the mummy. After they finished, they reassembled. Now, after removing all the gold, they reassembled the remains on a layer of sand in a wooden box with padding that concealed the damage, the bed where Tut now rests. Then, after removing the gold, his remains were again set in a wooden box with padding filled with layer of sand to hide, to conceal the damage, and that is where he now rests.